All right, so we are recording. And yes, I saw, thank you, Gwen, for forwarding your ticket incident stuff to me from CyberQ. No, they didn't let any of the instructors know. I spoke to the other second year instructor that is also using CyberQ for their class. And no, they didn't let him know. And his students started having issues, and he is told them to go and look at that stuff too. The good news is I was able to log into the old system and pull a grading report of where everyone was. So I have proof of where you were. So even if it doesn't pull your progress over, I have. Oh, yeah. So what happened with CyberQ is apparently the reason it's having some issues is they decided they were going to move to a new platform and not tell anybody. And there's like, yeah, exactly. They didn't tell the students, they didn't tell the staff. To say I'm angry is kind of an understatement. So that affected the VMs and the labs and all sorts of stuff. So if it shows that you're missing labs, excuse me, I have all of your previous content before they switched over. Yeah, exactly. Mike, that is pretty much verbatim what I thought when I found out. Because I at first I thought, well, maybe I just missed a notification. I went digging. I'm like, okay, either someone didn't send me the notification or they didn't send any notifications. Turns out it's the latter. The instructors didn't get any notifications. It would have been nice of us to know this, so we could have given you guys a heads up. But yeah,
You guys don't need a heads up. You're just teaching the class.
right. Yeah, well, apparently we didn't. So just start from where you are and go onward. If you're missing any content, I have a report pulled already. Um, so you're just fine. Keep an eye on, because I don't know how the new system will be with recording. We'll see.
Just making sure we're in week 4, correct?
Yes, we are.
All right. I thought so because I was looking at like what I currently have done versus what is due, and I was like, this looks like week 4.
Yeah, Gwen, I bet their tech support is getting lots of calls from students about this because they didn't tell any of the second year students. So we've got at least 2 classes worth that are halfway through. I'm guessing there's probably a lot more from other universities, because if they didn't tell, I sincerely doubt it was just our university that didn't get notified. Anyway, so yeah, I am very sorry about that, but you don't have to worry. I do have proof of what you have completed, downloaded. So move forward and work on your week 4 modules. And if you have any problems with your progress not saving from this point on, I do need to know, because given our dubious communication from them, I think that we need to know right away if we're having problems with the new system. So if you guys have any problems with the new system, well, let me know ASAP. Especially about anything that's keeping you from getting your work done, anything that's keeping you from having an accurate record of work that's going as it goes forward. I figured that if they're having this much of a problem, they would not accurately translate work from your previous weeks. But that's why I was able, before I did anything, I was like, okay, I'm going to see if they can still get in and pull everyone's old stuff down. And I was able to. So I pulled the report out and we're fine. So nobody failed. In fact, you guys have a very high completion rate of stuff you already did. Yeah, right. Best way to avoid issues is to never talk about it and act surprised. Apparently, I don't know where the ball dropped on this, but it dropped pretty hard, and I'm very sorry that you guys got nailed in the middle.
German, you forgot the second part of that. When they bring it up, act like it's their fault.
Yeah, right. Yeah, so I like Steve, I think we can be millionaires. Hear me out. Well, I mean, I am just not impressed all the way around in so many different levels on this. And I just feel terrible that you guys got stuck right in the middle. Excuse me. So, hold on one second. Sorry, I didn't want to cough hack really loud in your ear. You get an A and you get an A. Well, I will say that it's good thing that we picked a week that they picked a week that we were doing a continuation week, because otherwise it would have been I would have been a lot more likely to be more upset about this. But I'm still mad, and I'm going to try not to let it color the rest of our class. But yeah, just keep being in contact with me, especially with issues about the new system. Okay, that being said, let's talk about today's class. So we're on week 12, and I threw in some stuff you can see here. And what's called the user-defined bash script. Basically, this means I want you guys to get creative. If you give me a one-line script, I won't give you full credit, but I'm giving you guys a lot of leeway here. It has to be a script that does something either useful or amusing, so you can use your imagination. So, do what would be considered 100 points worth of work. If you do something that you think is really mediocre project, you'll get a mediocre grade. So keep that in mind.
What's the grade for if I reuse my script from last week?
That would be a 0.
Oh, I thought that was amusing.
It was amusing, but you're going to have to change it up a bit in order to get 100 points worth out of it. You can always put there's if you look here, I threw in some information if you guys wanted to learn how to do the pause function. There's a press any key to continue type one that you can throw in there and use. Oh, pardon me. But yeah, it doesn't have to be. I'm not expecting you to go out and do like all the math, because you guys know how that math, unless if you want to throw math in, that's fine. But I don't expect a ton of math. I will go over some of the arithmetic expressions just because if you decide that there's something that you want to go in there with it, then you can have a little bit of a basis on this. This guy's videos, the supplementals, he has quite a lot of them. So if you're like, this is something I don't really want to do this, I kind of want to do something really more interesting. He has a section on if-then statements. If this happens, do this, He's got a section on how to do exit coding. So he's got some really good code in there to play with. Hold on, I've apparently got my Discord open.
Not to interrupt you, but hey Gwen,
Yep.
do you want to check in the Five Guys Discord in general? I just posted. I did the same thing you did, and they sent me a Discord key or a training key and everything. I just want to make sure that they're using the same one for everyone, or if they're giving out individual keys.
Yeah, that's a good idea to check and see exactly what they're doing. Perfect. Okay, so let's talk about, last time we spoke, we stopped on loops. Do you remember that one? Basically, a lot of you had loops where you do this until, and then you have the done or the case loops, were a version of a loop. Okay. So far, from what I've seen, everyone seems to have understood loops just fine. So I'm going to talk about what are called append strings and some functions and some things like that. We're just going to go through some of these. I know that this is going to be all sorts of fun. So be aware, I do not expect you to use every single thing that we go through. This is just for your edification. And I'm hoping that as we talk about this, maybe it'll spark something and you'll go, oh, hey, I could do XYZ with this. And then you can figure out what you want to do for your script. I will say, if you want to talk about functioning bash, things like that, Zach is available and has used these. So he's a great source to talk to. Okay, so that's a good thing. We all are, just varying flavors. Okay. So you'll see two different sections on append strings. They have one where they talk about, this is the mathematics append string. Yeah, and you can create your own. That's actually a really good idea, considering that's kind of what what you did, Steve, on yours was. It was kind of a create your own adventure. You can just change your stuff and then do if this, do this, and you could absolutely do that. So this append string, they're talking about using math. Or in this one, they're talking about mathematical operators and expressions. So expressions are creating using can you see the double brackets here? And there's your syntax. For mathematical operators, you can see 12 plus 11 they're talking about, and then they echoed out the results. And then you have operators down here that you can use as well. I would suggest that you go look at those cheat sheets for these operators. They're really great if you are wondering about math. We have the less than, equal than, less than or equal to, equal, things like that. They have conditional statements that you can use these for. And then if you really want to, you can get, I tend to not like to get really complicated with math unless I have to. But, if you're a math junkie, you can get out there for it. Then there's functions. And this is your function name. And then you have parameters that you put within. You pass your parameters to a function. So you name your function, and then you have that stuff in between the little brackets there. And then you have a append string with text. So you can see here you have two forms of text, and you have string 1 and string 2, and then you want to echo out those two strings. You notice how they put the space in there so you can actually get a readable version. Then you just get everything in between the quotes. You can append without double quotes or single quotes. And they're just showing you different ways of doing it with text. So you had your append strings with math and append strings with text. All right, operators. These are symbols in programming that performs an operation on operands. So remember what I said about your cheat sheets? Here's your examples. And it tells you like plus plus is your increment, minus is your decrement, and then you have all the examples of this right here. This is a nice little table, but if you look in the cheat sheets that I have, they'll have this combined with a couple of different things if you just want to save yourself some time. These are the examples, and then they have assignment operators, and these are used to assign values to a variable. So the basic operation is equal, and then additionally there are other assignment operators. So remember how they talked about, you saw those plus, minus. These are how you add multiplication and minus, and I just don't expect to see a whole lot of this in anybody's scripts, because I know a lot of you guys are not super fond of this, but if for any reason you need it, here's how they are. And we also have what are called bitwise operators. There's and equal, and things like this. Logical operators. Looks like they have another table they accidentally blurred out. The and. So this one return true, and then exit status if both operands are true, else return false. So that's, you can see sometimes you'll see people that use the pipe or the and. That's what these are right here. And this one, these are basically, this is how you use bash to check if two numbers are equal. So that's, remember when I said just the equal, that's basically saying this is equal to that in bash. So right now it's asking, is 13 equal to 15? And then echo out two numbers are equal if they're equal. And since they aren't, that's not going to happen. And then you can do what's called a exit statement, which will basically, like, it's kind of like an error throw out that'll say, no, this isn't true. You can do tests to see if directories exist in a certain location. So this would fall underneath your useful section if you want to do something useful. So say you want to check if a certain directory exists, and if it doesn't exist, you can say, okay, I want to make that directory, which you can do as well. You can see there's just here they're setting the variables for that. If suddenly the screen does something wacky, I have a cat that's been very interested in my keyboard today, so I apologize. She's just been lonely. So, okay. You can also do a file name extraction. So you can do file path equals this, and then file name, and then echo, and then you can look for type where the file name is. Then you have extract the file name, but you don't have to have the extension with it. There's another example for that as well. And here's a multi example right here. The nice thing about, I don't know if you see that file name dot asterisk, basically that's one of the if this has this name with any extension on the end of it, then that's fine. A lot of the time, anytime you see an asterisk, it's a variation of anything after this is fine. Hold on a second. Cough drop delivery from my dad. And I happen to be hacking at the time too. Okay, so excuse me. Okay, so these are your examples of your file names, looking up the file names and the file paths, which you can use for that as well. Okay. Now, I'm going to pause here for a second. I know everyone's gone quiet because it's a lot of information. Do you have any questions on the ones that we were just looking at? Okay. Okay.
Hey Gustavo.
Uh-huh.
I was gonna well Gustavo asked in the chat, do we reuse our code for the new Discord site? And assuming they didn't give me and Gwen the exact same like code for the new
Oh, you mean
the
CyberQ, not
yeah,
Discord?
sorry for the CyberQ. Assuming they didn't give me and Gwen the exact same new one, in which case if they gave us both the exact same new one, you can just use the because it's a class code. There's no you don't have to repay to get the access to them
You
again.
shouldn't have to know. And if they give you guys the exact same one, then that's probably going to just be the new one that we're going to have to use. If they give you a different one, let me know and I will put in a ticket and do what I can to get everyone else a new code. But you should, hopefully, you should have the oh no, there's no way. I would not make you guys repay. You paid, and
So,
it's their fault that they didn't tell us this. It's ridiculous. It's not your fault.
can you hear me? Hello?
So, but yeah, if let me know if those aren't the same code, and if they aren't, I will. Yeah, I can't really hear. Gustavo, did you say something?
Can you hear me?
Kind of, sorta.
I can hear you.
All right.
Oh,
So
it's the same code. Okay.
Yeah,
Actually,
I tried to redeem it, and it says it's already been redeemed.
well, I just checked the code that they sent me, and it's different than the one that they sent Steve. Or the key, the training key.
So are they supposed to send me an email then with the new key?
I'm not sure. Give me 1 second since we're in the middle of the lecture for this one, and then we'll talk about CyberQ
Okay.
after that. Okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. So the next one we've got is split string. And this one, you'll see that pipe, and that's where you can use the awk command, which is compatible with your Linux utilities and bash and shell distributions. And it's used basically, you split the string, and then you can with your pipe symbol, which shows right here, and then you can basically you can, I don't know why you would need to split it, but if for some reason you need to split it into two different parts, like for printing, because sometimes you have a really long string, you can do the pipe. No problem, Gwen. But you can do echo that out and split those up so that they come out in so that there's a split or a space between them like that.
Yeah, sorry about that. I
No, I
forgot
didn't
that
even
had that
realize
turned
what was
on.
going on.
But if just in case no one could hear me, yeah, the code that I got was different.
Was it? Okay. So we probably need, my guess is that all of the students are going to have to put a ticket in. Or I'm going to have to put one in for the entire class. But since they were linked to, now is this for the class or is this for your individual product that they're doing it for?
So I just used their little help. Where is it? Let me see if I can pull it up on the old one. CyberQ. Okay, so yeah, I just used their little chat function for the support center, and it took like it was maybe a 20-minute process, and most of that was just waiting for them to get back to me or to start up the ticket.
Which means they
And
probably have it streamlined because they have so many issues with it.
yeah, I just mentioned it, and then I mentioned one of my classmates, and then he looked up the what class or what course it was, and he was like, "Oh yeah, we've already gotten a mention of this issue." And he just from what I understood, he just basically copied and pasted the response. So I got an email with he told me once he finished the call, once he finished the ticket, I'd get a email, which I did like 20 seconds afterwards.
Okay.
That was just
Okay.
directions and a new
So
yeah.
it sounds like that's something everyone's probably going to have to do. Let me, because I for the class have class codes, but then they have like access codes because they have it like split into two parts. They have so you can access my class, and then they have so you can access the product. So I'm not sure which code it is that you guys are having to put in. Is it so you've
let me pull up my email and I can show you. Yeah, it was literally just here, I'll link it. This is, I don't know why I pulled up Discord there. Okay, view options. Yeah, mine I got it's just a e-council support forum with a response or with everything that went on during the conversation, and then a follow-up email. Thanks for contacting us regarding your lab account. We apologize. The platform is upgraded. We provide you with blah 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 blah, and then directions on how to access it.
it says the training key. So it looks
Yeah.
like, yeah, it's the product. Okay.
Redeem your training key to register. Your training key is
Okay, so that looks different. Okay, so that looks different than the class key. So
yeah.
it's possible that you guys will, I don't know if it'll pop over to I'll have to look and see what it does to my side. Because it's possible that it might be like, oh, guess what? You have to redo all this too. So we'll have to see. So, okay. They're talking about the class code for you guys. I mean, the product code for you guys. So I will put out an announcement. Let's see.
Quick question. Hey, Gwen, did you have to? I don't remember if I did because I was pretty out of it last night when I finally
And you said that was through the chat log?
Yeah, through the little chat function. So when you log into CyberQ, before you even access the dashboard, the skill packs or anything, just down in the right corner, there's a little chat box that you can pull up their support center and talk with them.
All right. So I had to type in representative just to get through the stupid AI.
I don't remember. I went through the old platform because I didn't have access to the new platform yet, Mike.
Yeah. Yeah, I can still log in through the old one.
Yeah, you'll still have your account with your old one, and I think I don't remember if I actually did, but I'm pretty sure I had to create an account with the new platform as well. Yeah, it's a completely like new website. Like, well, it looks different.
Okay.
I didn't even realize I was accessing one of the labs when I opened up the new website. Yeah, when I first logged in.
Okay, and I'm putting an announcement out on Discord. Log in to old website V1 first. And good. Threads for V2. Okay. And I am going to, as soon as I get off class with everybody tonight, I'm going to go have a little chat with our representatives and find out why none of us were told about this. But anyway, sorry to be bouncing back and forth. I know it's just because we're all irritated about the situation. Okay. We talked about split strings, which just basically are different ways to output your strings into different chunks. You can also do string length limits, which is right here. So if you see the echo and then you see count, and you can see down here, it says there's your output, but then you can do different things with it as well. Then as you go down here, you'll see what's called a print length, and then you can set how long you can do that. Okay, so because I want us to have a little bit more to talk about on Thursday, we're going to save these other operators for Thursday, and we're going to stop with string length tonight, since I think between having to go troubleshoot CyberQ and all that, we're going to have a lot of fun tonight. So I know this is kind of a combined class because of the fun hours, but let me get back here so we can again talk about this. I highly suggest you look at the supplemental videos. There's the command line and shell scripting Bible, and if you want some really good sections, code snippets, alternate syntax, and iterating with loops in that PDF that's on your course documents under the Bash Linux resources. So this one right here on the top. There are some really good. The thing that I like about this is that when you look at each section on the table of contents, it chunks everything out, and then you can just click on it and then go down, and it's a very well sectioned out book. So when you're doing your projects, when you're trying to figure out, hey, I kind of want to do this, but I'm not sure where I need to find how to do this piece of code. Go look at that, and then check out your cheat sheets like this. And this one is kind of a mega cheat sheet. It's a whole website. It's not a PDF. The nice thing about this one is again, it chunks out the different things, like there's your basics, there's your substitutions, manipulations, hey, comments, let's remember how to do that. Do I want to figure out how to do different types of loops? Look, there's a whole section on loops, functions, arguments, raising errors. Look, there's conditionals. So they have everything broken out. They even have dictionaries, which is really nice. Whole bunches of different options that you can throw in there. You can do history commands, different operations that we were talking about. And then they have some that don't quite fit with the other ones. They have subshells. This one even has some Python redirects and trap errors. Like, remember me talking about error codes? This is an example of some of the error code stuff that you can do. Then, if you
So-
want one, oh, go ahead.
So this is just like a funny thought that went through my head, but when you were talking about the Bible right there, and you said like you mentioned the history command, all I imagine is like across the world, like different companies having instead of like it being a history of what went into the program, it's like you enter that thinking that's what it's gonna be. And like for a German one, you enter the history command, it's like, well, World War II was where we in Germany had a small matter of differencing opinions with the rest of the world. It was really no big thing.
Yes, you could also do a sarcastic history of the world project for your for your project if you want. So yeah, you could do that on your bash script if you want to. Okay. So, so we were talking about CyberQ. So that's what's going on with bash. Were there any more things that we need to talk about? I'm going to leave it recording since we're talking about CyberQ. Was there anything else we needed to talk about with CyberQ? I'm going to go on and send a message to our rep and find out what I need to do on my side. But I highly suggest that the rest of you go on and get on to the version 1 that you already have. And hey, I wish I could do that. That's not something I can do, but you can always try and petition for it through the department. Yeah, go on the old CyberQ site, go down to their chat, tell them I mentioned either one of the previous students or the name of the course, you know, that it's a CWI course, and then go through their little things so you can get a new code. If for some reason they refuse to deal with you or anything else, forward me the information and I will take care of it. I'm really kind of peeved. So if anyone has any, yeah, right. You've got my stapler. And if you don't know that reference, shame on you.
Such a good movie. Burn this place to the ground.
I actually have a red stapler. But yeah.
I mean, as annoying as this might be, just remember how bad summer classes were and then realize that this isn't that bad.
It's an improvement. Yes, there you go. But yeah, let's get that done. And as soon as you guys have access, just let me know. Or if you have problems accessing the new system, it doesn't matter what's going on. Just keep me in the loop on what's going on there. You know, Gwen, that might actually be a good idea. You never know.
Or, and hear me out, it might sound a little threatening, and next thing you know, SWAT is breaking down your door.
That's only if you don't use a VLAN or, you know.
And SWAT's breaking down someone else's door.
There you go. Okay, so it sounds like we all have our marching orders and I've got some people to contact. Just keep me in the loop, guys. And If you're getting other weird error messages, or if you get any other directions from them, from the tech support people, let me know. I'm gonna go ahead and stop the video here. And I'll talk to you about some homework.